I'm going to ask you to go ahead and she anticipated what I was going to say to go ahead and start our recording. So, hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Ellen Haas. I'm the Associate Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs with AACC. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our orientation to the 2026 Community College Innovation Challenge Boot Camp. Just to make you aware, please go ahead and introduce yourselves in chat. Feel free to input any questions into chat as we go along. And then we have a question break, kind of midway, and then we have a big question break at the end. So we really do want this to be about your questions and making sure we address anything that would be helpful to you as you prepare to attend the boot camp in June. So with that, let me go ahead and introduce my co-presenters and partners in this work today. Courtney Larson, no doubt you have received a few emails from her, and you're likely going to receive a few more prior to going into June and from there on. So Courtney Larson is our program manager for our Advanced Technological Education program. And Joe Schreiber, who's been with us a long time since we originated this competition, working as an adjunct professor and general manager for Temple University Television. And he'll tell you a little bit more about his background shortly. But we are excited to have you here. All right. So first and foremost, congratulations. Congratulations for being selected as a finalist team. We are so happy that you're going to be joining us for the boot camp in June. For your reference, the Community College Innovation Challenge is hosted by the American Association of Community Colleges in partnership and with funding from the National Science Foundation. And AACC is very fortunate to be a longstanding partner with NSF in focusing on efforts related to STEM technician education and the Community College Innovation Challenge, which we have run this competition in partnership with NSF since 2015. And I think Joe's been around since the very first one as well. So you have a dedicated team that's very excited about this competition and getting the opportunity to work with you. You will meet some of our NSF leaders and program officers at the boot camp. And again, AACC is very grateful to them for their support, ongoing support of this competition. So let's talk about what we're going to go over today. During this presentation, we're going to shed some light on what's to come at our boot camp and what you need to do to prepare to attend. So we'll cover some of the fun stuff like travel and logistics. We'll go over the basic agenda for the boot camp, expectations for participating, including what to expect at the Student Innovation Poster Session and the team pitch presentation. We'll go over the judging process, as well as talk about our finalist hub where we post all of our resources and where you'll be able to find the recording and slide deck from this presentation following our session today as well. And then you will obviously have a chance to ask questions. Please feel free to ask in chat as we move along, but we do have a break in the middle and then an extensive Q&A period at the end to make sure we address anything that comes up. All right, let's talk about our finalist teams. These are our teams last year, joyous at the end of their student poster session on Capitol Hill. But we want to talk about you. This competition is truly one of the most rewarding projects that Courtney and I manage at AACC. And you should all be immensely proud of yourselves. You went through a really competitive process to get here. So a team of field experts representing principal investigators and community college leaders from the Advanced Technological Education program, as well as AACC staff, vetted your ideas and the science and technology feasibility behind those ideas. And again, we're extremely excited to announce that we've accepted 12 finalist teams for this year's competition. Since I know you are probably wondering, you represent the top 12 teams out of 60, representing 227 individuals. So no small achievement. And again, congratulations to you on your efforts. You're now joining a high caliber group of students who made it to our finalist round and on to the Innovation Bootcamp. In the next two slides, if you haven't seen the press release already, you'll see all the finalist teams that you'll be meeting in June and the colleges that you're from. And again, you'll start to build the student community in this space. We did release a press release to the final on all the finalists on April 28th. We also sent a promotional toolkit to your college team and your college's PR office that shares information about the challenge and provides a template and some graphics for social media announcements. So if you would like to get the word out on the good news as your selection of a finalist team, we encourage you to do so. So if you're just now seeing this, congratulations to our teams. from De Anza College, Henry Ford College, Hudson County Community College, Pasadena City College, Passaic County Community College, Pellissippi State Community College, and Perimeter College at Georgia State University, San Jacinto College, Shawnee Community College, Springfield Technical Community College, Sunny Broom Community College, or SUNY, excuse me, Wake Technical Community College. So congratulations again to all of you. You're going to have the opportunity to really interact, know each other well, and understand each other's projects and work on your own. So again, we're excited to welcome you in June. So with that, let's give you a little bit of overview of the boot camp, the what, where, when, who, and why. So the what is it? The boot camp, as mentioned earlier, is really designed to provide a hands-on learning opportunity for the finalist teams to further develop their ideas with a focus on building innovation, entrepreneurship, and strategic communication skills. So teams receive instruction and coaching throughout the boot camp designed specifically to help prepare you for your student innovation poster session and the final team pitch presentation, both of which we will go over in this presentation. The event will be held at the Royal Sonesta Hotel in Washington, D.C. on June 8th through 11th, and it is expected that the full team will attend, and you'll attend the entire event, as the training is designed to really help prepare you for the judging events. It's built in scaffolds throughout the week, and you'll ultimately compete for a chance to win prize monies for the first, second, and third place winning teams. In addition, the boot camp features a public-facing event, the Student Innovation Poster Session and Reception, which is held at a venue on Capitol Hill, which we're still finalizing with some congressional representative offices, where you'll have the opportunity to engage with congressional and STEM leaders, and then you will do the final pitch presentation of the boot camp itself, and that final event is closed just to our boot camp attendees. But the student poster session and reception that happens on Capitol Hill is public facing, and we do have a good amount of stakeholders that are there to engage with you. And again, we will talk a little bit about that shortly. The boot camp starts at 11 a.m. on June 8th and then ends at 5 on June 11th. So who attends? Obviously, all of our finalist teams and their mentors are required to attend. And in addition, we have assembled presenters and experts specializing in entrepreneurship, innovation, and strategic communication to deliver the boot camp content. And we also include past student participants. You'll engage with a panel of alums, so students who have been where you've been, and you'll learn how they use this boot camp and how they've leveraged it into other opportunities. And in some cases, patented their ideas, started a company, and really flew with it that way. So the students always really enjoy engaging with the alums, and the alums really appreciate the opportunity to come back. So we're excited for that session with you. We also have NSF and ACC program staff that attend the boot camp. And we also have a panel of judges, which we're in the process of finalizing. That information is shared with you. We will post the judges and their bios, and that gets posted to our hub, and we'll notify you that as soon as it's available. And now I would like to turn it over to Joe to talk to you about why you should attend the boot camp, aside from the fact that it's a requirement, and also to give you some information on our boot camp partners. Joe?
Thank you, Ellen. I want to congratulate everyone for making it to the boot camp. This is my favorite event of the year. It is the reason why I've pivoted full time in education to teaching and to mentoring and working with students. If I could do this boot camp as a full time job, that's all I would do. That's how much I love it. That's how much I'm looking forward to it. So I can't wait to get started. You'll interact with experts, receive coaching, mentoring, guidance during the sessions, and activities that will help you further validate, refine, develop, and potentially implement your novel innovations. And as we go through the boot camp, well, we have taken feedback for year after year from the time we first started, and we've refined it to the point where this is really interactive. And we constantly are making sure that you're understanding what we're presenting and giving you a chance to keep using it, create an environment where you can feel safe to try different things, fail, if you will, then lift yourselves up and learn from those mistakes, and ultimately be able to deliver when your moment comes at the poster session or for the final pitch presentation. It's designed to provide this hands-on learning opportunity so you can further develop your ideas, focus on building innovation, entrepreneurship, and also strategic communication skills. We believe this boot camp offers a once in a lifetime opportunity to receive expert advice that's intended to help make you important connections and build skills. And I'll tell you from previous years, and you'll hear from previous students. There are lifelong friends being made here at the boot camp and strong, strong network connections. So you'll also get to meet stakeholders through the Student Innovation Poster Session and reception and interact with National Science Foundation and American Association of Community Colleges staff. And most importantly, you're going to have a lot of fun through the breakouts and the session exercises that are designed to get you networking with one another. So we've put together a highly qualified, dynamic, and most importantly, entertaining group of leaders for the various sessions of the boot camp. So it's designed around the tenets of an NSF program called I-Core. And this program teaches NSF grantees to identify valuable product opportunities that can emerge from academic research and offers entrepreneurship training to participants by combining experience and guidance from established entrepreneurs through a targeted curriculum. So from I-Core, we have Grant Warner from DCI Core and Venture Accelerator. Grant has a doctorate in engineering, but he has leveraged that to move into the entrepreneurial space. And he understands the shoes that you guys walk in and how to help get you where he is right now. And that's where you want to be. We also have Daria Hall and her team from Fenton Communications. It's a social change agency to share information on strategic communication skills. And the best part about Daria is she's able to take you into the kind of world we live in now where it requires a lot of flexibility to be able to keep moving and keep changing with the times, the way communication is disrupted so much by the innovation of technology and social media. And I'll also serve as an instructor for the CCIC program. As Ellen mentioned, I've been with the program since we started in 2015. I've worked with the National Science Foundation around the country, helping to train scientists and engineers in strategic communications. We hit about 40 different universities over the years. Now, currently, I'm an adjunct professor at the Klein College of Media and Communication at Temple University. And I mentioned I'm also the general manager of Temple University TV. Um, but the best part of my job is mentoring and coaching students. And I'm happy to say I have a revolving door of students come to meet me on a daily basis. And that's what I love about this workshop. I'm all yours for those 4 days. I'm around the hotel the entire time. I do lean on my experience also in communications. I work for NBC for 23 years and was proud of winning 13 Emmy Awards. And I've got a film company now where we have a film on PBS and actually just got a contract for another one. So I understand the bigger picture of strategic communications. We have Martha Parham, AACC's Senior Vice President of Public Relations, is also working with us as a coach to interact with and provide feedback to the teams. And we have experts in entrepreneurship. They'll be with you throughout the boot camp sessions and exercises, as well as National Science Foundation program directors and other AACC staff. So all of these partners have provided their input, their guidance, and expertise into the boot camp content. I'm going to turn it over to Ellen right now. She'll walk you through the boot camp finalist hub, the agenda, and what we have planned for June.
Thanks, Joe. So hopefully you've poked around in the finalist hub a little bit. I know Courtney had sent that link to you, and that's how you accessed this session. But it's really designed, it's a very simple but centralized information hub. And this is where all of the bootcamp materials are posted, all of the resources, and again, the recordings from these sessions. In addition, we have information on travel and logistics. That's where you'll be able to download your travel reimbursement forms or consult some information on ground travel. We'll also get the boot camp agenda posted. We are just finalizing that now, but I'll go over some of the basics for it. All of our guidelines and materials are there. And then we will be posting also the bios of all of our instructors and coaches, all of our judges, and then all of the student teams. So you can get to know everyone before you actually meet them in person in June. So the URL for the hub is on the slide. And again, we'll notify you over email as things are posted and just keep you aware that that is an evolving space where we will be getting resources. Let's go over the agenda for the event. So this is a very basic framework for your days, but it is a full 4 days. So Monday is the day we kick things off. We start with introductions, very interactive introductions, and then we have an opening session and panel made up of our CCIC bootcamp graduates. We said this is where you have the opportunity to interact right off the starting gate here with alums. So that you can hear some of their experiences and how they leverage this opportunity. And then we hit the ground running with a session on power of stories and again, a highly interactive design thinking session. During that time, we also hold a separate meeting with our faculty and our administrator mentors, and we discuss your role at the boot camp. And then we end with a wrap up of the day. We also offer, it's an optional walking tour of DuPont Circle. So that's something you can do as a social activity. And we'll give you more information on that as well. But DuPont is an interesting area. There's some historical buildings. There's a lot of embassies. And if nothing else, you get a nice walk and you learn where all the restaurants and things are in the neighborhood. So that's something to consider doing on Monday evening. On Tuesday, we'd start again with breakfast. You're going to see we feed you well during this event. We do that by design. You need a lot of fuel for the work and the interactivity that we're asking you to do. Then we go into sessions on signaling innovation. We do sessions on customer discovery, and that again that's an important topic, and you'll actually touch upon that in the webinar we hold next Friday, as there's a little bit of pre-work to do, and this is where you'll apply it once you get to the boot camp. Feed you again for lunch. And then we prepare you for the student poster session. Again, that happens fairly quickly in the competition, but we'll talk to you about how to be memorable and persuasive. We'll go over a Capitol Hill launch pad where we pull in some of our legislative team from ACC to talk to you about how to engage with congressional stakeholders. And then our bus will depart the hotel. We'll head to Capitol Hill. We'll set up for our poster session, which will take place from 4:30 to 6:30. And then we will take down our posters, take some group photos, and get on the bus to return back to the Royal Sonesta Hotel. On Wednesday, after breakfast, we'll do a debrief of the Capitol Hill and the student poster session and reception. There's usually a lot of energy coming off of that event. We'll go into some guided mock customer discovery interviews. We'll pull out our mentors where we have an information track for them with NSF. We do a debrief on our customer discovery interviews. Following lunch, this is where Fenton, Daria Hall and her team comes in to talk to you about Masters of Marketing and perfecting your pitch. And then we go into individualized team coaching and working sessions. So your team will have the opportunity to engage with two coaches where you'll have designated time to sit with them. Is it two or is it four coaches, Courtney? Now I'm blanking. I think they have two coaches. They go one on, one off, one on. So you have two different coaches that you will engage with, so you can work through your team pitch. And that's a really that's really a wonderful opportunity where you're going to be assigned with a coach and you get two different perspectives and two sets of hands in helping you perfect that. And then we will wrap up at the end of Wednesday at 5. So on Thursday, this is pitch day. So we have breakfast. We go over the agenda for the day. We have someone come in from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to talk to us a little bit about IP and securing those patents and those trademarks. And though the topic sounds dry, this is actually a very entertaining session. Then we go over the judging criteria review. We give you some opportunity to practice again with your team with a working lunch. And then at 12:30, we start our team pitch presentations. The judges will go off and deliberate in real time while we'll ask you to fill out some evaluation surveys. And then we announce the winners at 3:30, have an awards ceremony and a reception, and we conclude about 5 p.m. on Thursday. We will go over the student pitch presentations. We will go over the poster session momentarily and what all of that entails, but this just gives you some broad brush strokes of the agenda for the week, and we will be filling that in and providing the more substantive agenda in the coming weeks as we finalize a few more of our speakers. With that, let me turn it over to Courtney. So we have a boot camp full of content with lots of fun and amazing opportunities, but we also have a lot of logistics to get us there. So I'm going to ask Courtney to go over those logistics with you now. Courtney?
Great. Thank you, Ellen. And I want to offer my own congratulations to all of you. We loved reading about your projects, and we're so excited to be with you in DC in June. I am the logistics person, so you will hear a lot from me in the coming weeks, and feel free to email me as many times as you want, because there's never enough reasons to ask questions. So please let us know if you need anything or if you're unsure about anything. We're happy to answer them. In this section, I'm going to cover registration, hotel, and travel information. For your reference, this information can also be located in your finalist confirmation letter and is also available on the Finalist Hub. For registration for the boot camp is required for students and mentors of the 12 finalist teams. There's no registration fee, but you have to fill out the form to attend. As part of the registration process, you'll be asked to approve a waiver of liability and agree to be photographed as part of the event so NSF and ACC can promote the Innovation Challenge and your accomplishments. As you may have seen leading up to the event, you saw probably lots of pictures on social media from past participants, and it's always great to share your voices and your experiences. If you have any questions or issues regarding the releases, just reach out and let us know. The participant registration and hotel reservation form is due on May 8th, 2026. I looked today and we already have 20 in, so thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we will, I can post the direct link to that in the site later today, or actually after I'm done speaking. For the hotel, lodging for the finalist teams will be held at the Royal Sonesta in Washington, DC. It's actually right down the street from our office, so it's we can fully attest to how great of a neighborhood it is, how easy it is to walk around, and it's just a fun place to be, especially in June. This is actually the perfect time to be in DC. Please note that ACC will make the hotel reservations for all the boot camp participants, so don't make your own reservations. When filling out the registration and hotel form, please indicate your arrival and departure dates, as well as any room preferences, including if you plan to share a room. Please note you're not required to share a room, but a lot of people like to share a room with the people they're traveling with, and that's totally okay. Just note on the form who you'll be sharing a room with, so we can make sure we know that all the participants are accounted for. And if you have any questions with that, just email us. And if you change your mind before a certain date, just email us. The hotel costs for student team members and mentors will be covered for up to 5 nights. So the nights of June 7th through June 11th. So you can come in, as you saw in the agenda slide, we start around, our registration, I believe, opens at 10 a.m. And then we start a little before lunch at 11. So it's nice to come in the night before, especially if you've traveled a long way, and then you're free to stay until the 12th, so you can leave on the morning of the 12th or any other time during that day. If for some reason you have special accommodations or anything like that, please let us know on the form. Rooms for these nights at the hotel will be directly to us, the AACC master account, so they won't show up on your hotel bill. However, you will be required to present a credit card at check-in. This is in case you have any incidentals that need to be covered during your stay, such as room service or anything else that you might have charged to the hotel while you stay there. But your hotel room will be covered. And when you check in, just double check with them that is the case. If any participants would like to come early or stay late to tour Washington, D.C., you may do so and pay the cost of the additional room nights at the rate of $279 per night. The hotel will honor this rate for 3 nights before and after the boot camp, subject to availability. So just note that on your note that on the form, and include those dates with your arrival and departure dates. So we will make the reservation for the entire stay, and then you will just be charged for the additional nights, but not the nights that we cover. ACC will send hotel confirmations to each attendee once hotel reservations are made by late May. If you need to make any changes to your hotel reservation, including substitutions or cancellations, just contact us directly as quickly as you know about it. Let's see. I have gotten a couple of emails in recent days about traveling with family, and that's completely okay. They're welcome to share your hotel room. Just please note that the boot camp itself is closed to outside guests, but we do have the poster session and reception on Tuesday the 9th, and that's open to the public, so they're welcome to attend that, but they can attend the other sessions or any of the meals that are provided. So keep that in mind, but you're more than welcome to bring a family member or a friend. All participants are responsible for making their own travel arrangements. ACC will support the cost of travel for student team members and mentors, as well as reimburse round-trip travel expenses. By a show of hands, how many of you already made your travel arrangements or filled out the form? I know some of you have, and we're so excited that you have started this already. Terry Tyler is a great asset, and he will help you with your needs with air travel. As a reminder, to make the air travel reservations, contact Terry Tyler at our World Travel Services, and that assures that the cost of the airfare will be directly billed to us, so you don't have to worry about it. Also, if anything happens with your flight, you can call him and he can help you rebook in real time sometimes, and it just takes a little of the stress out of things. So please do that as soon as you can. I believe we said May 8th at the latest, just to guarantee the best economy fares. For your reference, the closest airport to the hotel is Reagan National Airport, and the Royal Sonesta is located directly on the Washington Metro Rail system at the DuPont Circle Station. For more information on other area airports and detailed information on ground transportation and transit times, that's all available on the Finalist Hub. The Metro system is very easy to navigate. You can certainly take it if you're traveling as a team and want to take a cab to the airport. That is fully okay and will be reimbursed by us. Let's see what's next. Oh, the travel reimbursements. The travel reimbursement forms with the hotel confirmations will go out with the hotel confirmations, as well as they are posted on the Finalist Hub. For your reference, other reimbursable expenses include train or bus fare, parking, mileage, and other items listed on the slide. Please note that rental cars are not typically considered as an allowable expense. ACC will not reimburse for rental cars unless you drive instead of fly to the boot camp, and that total rental car expense is lower than the comparable economy-based airfare. You'll have to get that expense approved by us prior to renting the car. In addition, if you are thinking of driving your personal vehicle to the event, your mileage reimbursement costs cannot exceed the cost of the economy class airfare. If you do plan to drive, we just ask that you let us know, and then that way we can also make sure the cost is okay, and also help you with parking. We can arrange with the hotel that that's billed directly to us, since that would be a reimbursable expense. Okay, travel. Also, we will reimburse for meals not offered as part of the boot camp at rates set by the federal government through the U.S. General Services Administration for the area, the GSA rates. You can claim the amounts listed on this slide: $23 for breakfast, $26 for lunch, $38 for dinner. And since we reimburse on this per diem basis, which is excellent, you don't have to save receipts for meals. So you just would claim those on your reimbursement form. For your reference, the boot camp will offer breakfast and lunch at the event, as well as 2 light receptions, as you see here, broken down by day. If you have any questions at all pertaining to the travel, just reach out to us directly or take a look at the documents on the finalist hub. We know the reimbursement, we usually get most of the questions at the boot camp or after the boot camp. So we're used to all the questions, and we use the same reimbursement process, as employees of AACC. So we're very familiar with it, and we welcome all the questions. I think that's all I have. Thank you, Ellen.
Thanks, Courtney. We just wanted to pause here because we know that was a lot of logistical information, to see if there were any questions now. We will be talking about the judging criteria, the poster session, the pitch presentation after this question break. But if there are any questions on anything we've covered up until now, let us know. I don't know, Courtney, if there's anything in chat asking you to scan that right after you finish talking.
I'm scanning now. Is room service covered? Yes, that would just fall under the per diem. So the room service would be billed to you on your room, and then you would put the amount for that meal, if it was lunch or it was probably be dinner most likely, because we usually always cover lunch. You would just put that amount on your form. So generally covered under that amount.
Yes. Just to elaborate on that, we reimburse on a per diem basis. So if you spent $50 on dinner, you get 38. If you spent $5 on dinner, you get 38. You don't include receipts for meal per diems. You get the $38 if it was a meal not offered at the boot camp. So if we gave you lunch on Tuesday, you can't also go buy lunch and be reimbursed for lunch. But as Courtney mentioned, dinners are going to be something throughout that you will be reimbursed for. So yes, you can choose room service. I would suggest that's one of the more expensive ways to go when there are a lot of very walkable restaurants right in DuPont Circle.
Right. And also a note that if you go out as a team for a meal, we encourage you to get separate checks so you can all claim the per diem for it. If one person does pay for all of it, we just need that noted on the reimburse. But we do try to discourage that because that can get a little messy on the reimbursement front. Any other questions? There's a question about if we leave on the 11th, are we required to leave the hotel rooms at a specific time? I believe checkout, I think I have that posted, but not in my brain right now. I believe checkout is at probably 10 or 11, but can get back to you on that. So you will have to, if you leave on the 11th, you will have to check your bags with the hotel, or bring them down with you to the session room, and you put them in the corner.
Yeah, that's a lot of people that if they leave Thursday, they check out. But there's a break on Thursday when we go to practice and rehearse, for the final pitch, that you could check out of the hotel. Then some team members just bring their bags into the session room so then they can leave when the reception is done. But you will have to check out of the hotel by the normal checkout hours, and we'll confirm that and send out that information.
Yes, thank you. Then another question about reimbursement and when it happens. We reimburse after the boot camp. So we'll send out the form again, and we'll ask them for everything via email. Please hold on to all your receipts with the exception of meal receipts, so you can be reimbursed for taxi fares and baggage and things like that. The appropriate dress, Ellen, do you want to talk about that?
We do have a slide for that, so we'll go over that in our next section. Great. Sound like we're up to date?
I think so. Yes, the travel to and from the airport is a reimbursable expense on both ends of the trip.
Yes, so we do reimburse if you're going from the airport to the hotel. What we do not reimburse for is if you decide to take a ride share to another part of the city for dinner. That would be on you. So the ground transportation is from your home to the airport and from the airport to the hotel and back.
Great. I think we're all up to date.
All right. Well, then I'm going to turn it over to Joe to talk about the judging criteria, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of some of these events and then see what final questions you have. Joe?
All right. Well, now that Ellen and Courtney have told you guys how you can get to the boot camp, stay at the boot camp, live at the boot camp, you're probably all wondering, can someone please tell us how do we win this thing? And that's what I'm going to focus on right now is how you're judged. But I will say this before I go into the judging criteria. Success for every one of you is how you deal with a process on a minute to minute, day to day basis. You give your all and work as closely as you can to get feedback and keep getting better and better, and you will be a success. All right. So, naturally, I know you enter a competition because you want to win it. And when we say that everybody can come out a winner, we really do mean it. But the specific judging criteria now, and I'll get off the stage here. So, when it comes down to it, to win the challenge, a team must distinguish itself during two marquee boot camp events. It's the Student Innovation Poster Session, that's on June the 9th, and the team pitch presentation, and that's on June the 11th. So that's Tuesday and Thursday of the week. So it's broken up nicely because you get to focus on two big things, but you have some time in between. Now, these two events, while they're both great fun and unparalleled learning opportunities, also showcase each team's entrepreneurial savvy under vastly different circumstances. So that student poster session and reception, it challenges you to engage with important stakeholders while persuasively and most importantly, extemporaneously signaling value of your innovation through your poster and video and through a verbal interaction. So imagine a group of you standing around your poster, talking to people coming to visit and asking you questions, and you explaining things to them. So that sort of happens off the cuff, but we train you for it too. So there's strategy behind you speaking extemporaneously. Now, the second, a little bit more structured, it's the team pitch presentation. Now, this tests your abilities to pitch the significance, merits, and worth of your innovation directly to the judges through a formal, prepared presentation. So when we say worth, what we're explaining is that you don't want to spend a ton of time explaining how you made what you did. You want to explain why it's valuable and why people need it. So we'll get more into that during the boot camp. But these individual event scores, in turn, will then be weighted. So it's 30% for that poster session on Tuesday, June the 9th, and then 70% for that team pitch presentation, and combined to produce the total scores that drive the judges' final decisions. Now, remember, teams must perform well during both the student poster session and the team pitch presentations to win the challenge. You can't tank the poster session and then think you're going to just rely on the team pitch presentation. Prepare well for each of them. So the criteria that the judges use will to score these elements is shared on the screen. Now, it's also available in the Bootcamp resource platform. And I make a point of continually trying to familiarize yourself with what we're going to talk about right now. And the reason why, it's the measure of how you progress. If you meet these criteria, you give yourself a great chance of winning. So you want to keep looking back at this before you get to the boot camp and then while you're there. So for the team's poster, does it identify societal need? Does it demonstrate how the innovation satisfies this need? In other words, what's the problem? Here's the solution. Does it actually work to solve the problem? Do you communicate the innovation's novelty, feasibility, market viability, and also substantiate the innovation's ability to produce measurable benefits? Now, when you are engaging with the visitors at the poster session, you're going to be judged on how enthusiastic you are, how knowledgeable you are about your innovation, how convincingly do you champion that innovation's value and significance? How effectively do you explain the science and the uniqueness of their innovation? And explaining the science in an understandable way, we'll work with you on that. Do you make clear how society benefits? Proactively engage and respond to visitors' questions and whatever their identified interests and needs are. You want to express optimism and vision. If you're going to create something, you got to show them what is the brighter vision of the future. And you want to reflect positively on your team and the institution you're coming from. Now, during the student innovation poster session, the judges will be focusing on the team itself and how well you interact with visitors throughout the reception. So, judges will be both spectators and participants. So, not only will they be observing each team in action when they walk around and see you at the posters, but they'll also dive in to ask questions and engage team members directly. Let me tell you something about these judges. They're not anybody to be intimidated with. They are so enthusiastic about this. They're so interested in learning. There are several of these judges where this is the highlight of what they're going to be working on that month. There are judges that we have working with us that have come back year after year, and this is one of their favorite things to do, like I had mentioned earlier for myself. Now, for the team pitch presentations, each team will make their pitches in front of other finalist teams directly to the judges, much like a presentation you might take to gain budget or project approval. Now, I'll have more to say about the team pitch presentations in a few minutes, but for now, let's go back to Ellen so she can talk a little bit more about this student innovation poster session now that I've got you interested and told you how you can win it.
Thanks, Joe. So let's talk about the poster session. I do want to say, echo what Joe said about the judges being so enthusiastic and there to learn, and they come out just as inspired by all of you. Same goes for the attendees themselves. So while, yes, this is a competition, this event is among the most supportive, high energy event. The folks coming by are interested in students and are interested in what you're doing. So it really is a very friendly, dynamic exchange. So I want to take a little bit of hopefully any of the stress or fear out of it, that this is a very, very supportive community that's coming to engage with you as you prepare to do your poster session on Capitol Hill. But we are thrilled to be able to host this. Again, being on Capitol Hill is one of the hallmarks of this event. The event, again, held Tuesday, June 9th from 4:30 to 6:30. We invite congressional members, community college leaders, STEM stakeholders. You'll get congressional staffers coming through, and other guests are invited to again engage with you to learn about your ideas and your proposed solutions. Just to give you a sense of some of the pictures from this event, so you can see some of what the posters look like as we're getting ready to set them up. And then these are teams engaging with members of the House and Senate that have come in to engage directly with them. So again, this is our timeline for the event, where we will be having you leave the boot camp around 3 p.m., arriving to set up your posters at 3:30. We've got that 2-hour window, and then our buses return to the hotel following. I do want to make you aware that, again, this is a very exciting opportunity to discuss with policymakers about your innovation and to show off your work. And we are in the process of developing an online invitation to the student poster sessions reception. As we said, this is an external public-facing event. So if you have family members that have come with you while they can't attend the boot camp, as Courtney said, they can attend this event. We'll be sending this invitation to you and your team. So if you have people that are here in DC or stakeholders that you would like to invite, you are welcome to do so. And in addition, ACC specifically targets your senators and your congressional representatives and staffers and invites them. We're actually going door to door and office to office to hand deliver invitations to ensure we rally this year support for all of our teams. But we will have some good representation there. So let's see, I did want to, as Joe said, this is part of the judging process, to select the top 3 teams. But one of the things I do want to say is you're all winners. You're all winners for being here. And you all come out of it with, I think some feedback and excitement. So I want to go over that. Let's talk a little bit about what your poster entails. So as you're developing your poster, you will want to ask yourself what someone is going to learn from your poster and why they should care about your innovation. You as students, these tend to be your passion projects. They're problems you identified, they're solutions you created, and it's your voice that really carries this. We do give you some details on formatting. These are also available in the resource platform, but you should include the title of your project, your team name, the name of your community college, outline the problem you've identified, the steps you've taken to study the problem, determine the need to find a solution, some results from your research. So what is that solution and what is your proposed solution and innovation? So a lot of this you already prepared in your applications to the boot camp. So it is extracting and building upon those elements from your application that you would put in your poster to engage with the stakeholders. In terms of poster dimensions and some of the logistics, so each team will have a 36 by 48 display board. We provide push pins and adhesives, and we also give you an easel. The posters must fit into the designated space. You are responsible for mounting your poster to the display boards during the setup period and removing it when it ends. So again, this is something you're going to need to do prior to the boot camp. You're going to need to bring the poster with you. We do ask by May 8th that you put a team confirmation form and that you submit a short abstract that describes your poster, because we have kind of a separate program since this is an external facing event, which will include the name of your innovation, your team, all of your team member names, and then a short abstract so people going around have a synopsis of what your innovation encapsulates. So again, you're responsible for mounting during the period and removing. And again, we give you all the materials to do that. Your poster should be printed on a thin poster paper or laminated paper to assure it can be affixed to the display board. And again, we ask that everything be prepared, printer poster ready in advance of the CCIC, because we do not have printing capability on site. So again, this is going to be something you will want to do before you get there. In terms of formatting the top of the poster, just some, for those of you who've had done posters before, this is nothing new. If this is new to you, we do have some formatting guidelines, and we'll also be posting some additional pictures of posters just so you can see how some have been formatted to the hub. But at the top of the poster, you certainly want to include in large, easy to read font, the title of the project, your team name of the college. We suggest no less than 20-point fonts. You can read it from a few feet away. We strongly encourage the use of photographs or graphs or illustrations. Since this is what you will be showing to the public, there are no prototypes, there's no other documents, there are no other visual aids, and that is by design because you're really having to speak to your innovation. You can certainly gesture and point something out on your poster, but everybody has the same poster size, but there isn't there. So if some of you have working prototypes, that you would not be bringing them to this event. It would just be the poster that is on display and how you engage around the poster and with your team in sharing information on your innovation. And we do ask that the poster be your original work. I mean, you can certainly have your college logo or some college images that are acceptable. But again, your poster should reflect your team's work, your team's thinking. If your solution builds on existing technologies or ideas, just be sure to address how your application or adaptation or improvement is your own. Use research and cite it. We know that you've cited that these are needs. If you do that, clearly cite your sources on your poster. And just be careful with images. If you are using photos you've taken that have pictures of people in them, you want to make sure you have their permission to have this be on a poster, because you've seen we take pictures of these events. That poster could make a CC Daily article, which is our community college newspaper, if you will, online newspaper. So you want to make sure if there's something in your photo, if your poster that gets captured in a photo, that anyone in it is comfortable and is giving you permission to do so. And then again, that poster session team confirmation form due on the 8th. And again, there are sample abstracts on our website, on our finalist hub. Okay, so Joe, that's the student poster session. So let's pivot back to the final pitch presentation. So we've got the student poster session, reception, external event, lots of people, lots of high energy. Then we have the pitches, which is again at the boot camp. and that is before a panel of judges, and that is just our teams, if you will, that are present there, and some staff. So Joe, if you want to expand on that.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. So remember, we talked about the judging. It was 30% of your final score is from the poster session. 70% is from the team pitch presentation. So let's talk a little bit more about how that works. So ahead of the team pitch presentation, each finalist team will determine if they'll have a designated spokesperson or have multiple team members contribute to a part of the team's presentation. Now, either option is acceptable and it's up to the team to decide. So, just to paint a better picture of that, let's say a team has anywhere from 2 to 4 members or 5 members, whatever it is.
Four.
Everybody gets up in front of the room for the pitch. And you can choose to have one person deliver the pitch, and then everybody is available to answer questions from the judges, or each of you or several of you can be delivering different parts of the presentation. We've seen it, people do all kinds of different things. So really, it's up to you. And we can discuss that with you when we're coaching you to see what works best for you and your team. So at an appointed time, the students will who make up each team will be asked to come up to the front of the room. All team members, as I mentioned, need to come up to the front of the room to stand with their teammates, because the judges may and likely will call on team members to expand on or clarify each team's pitch. So I know some of you might be saying to yourselves, well, gee, I'm really kind of the shy one. I want someone else to deliver the pitch presentation. Everybody's coming to this workshop to combat whatever shyness they might have. And we give you strategies and skills so to make you feel confident. So when the judges ask you a question, you'll be ready to answer it. And we give you every trick in the book to answer those questions. That's all I'm going to say right now. And we'll teach you more about that at the workshop. So each team will be given 5 minutes for their pitch presentation. Now, bear in mind, the pitch presentations must strictly adhere to the 5-minute limit. So any team who exceeds 5 minutes, they're politely but summarily cut off. It's basically like a buzzer sound, and you're done. And we try to do it in a nice way, but we have to hold everybody accountable to that 5 minutes. So during the team pitch presentations, judges will be paying keen attention and carefully listening to some of the things that we mentioned before in the poster session, like clearly identifying what the societal problem is that you're trying to solve, or the need or the opportunity that the innovation addresses, crisply explaining how the innovation distinctively solves the problem, meets the need, or pursues the opportunity, compellingly speak to how society will benefit as a result, directly urge listeners to support further development of the idea, and persuasively convey a complete story that affirms the innovation's value and marketplace viability. We'll spend some time on storytelling. It's a great way to get people to remember your innovation. So at the conclusion of each presentation, the judges will be invited to question team members, as I mentioned, about the team's innovation, and each team should be prepared to answer questions. And we've seen some things where, let's say you have a group of 4 or 5 people up in front of the room, and certain people have different domain expertise when it comes to your project. You can have one person feel free and say, thank you so much. That's a great question. So-and-so here actually has spent most of the time with us working on their project, and you can pass it off like that. So you can focus on your area of expertise within that project. But we'll talk more about that at the workshop. So each team may provide one PowerPoint slide to use as a backdrop for its 5-minute presentation. Now, you want to be sure to include your college name, but don't overwhelm this PowerPoint slide with text. You are encouraged to include an image or a graphic that captures the essence of your innovation. There's some science that will tell you that visualization trumps verbalization. So imagine you have a slide that's got all this text on it, and everybody's up there trying to read it, and you're talking. They're not paying attention to you. So you need a slide that visually conveys the meaning of what your presentation is all about. Now, teams can use notes or cue cards to deliver their presentation, but no other visual aids aside from the one PowerPoint slide will be permitted. So you can have those notes as a crutch if you need it. Now, finally, these guidelines, as well as the general criteria reviewed earlier, are available in the Bootcamp Finalist Hub and will be circulated directly to the teams following up this webinar. Can't say it enough. We encourage you, get familiar with these guidelines. It gets it embedded into your brain what you need to do to win this competition. Most importantly, during the boot camp itself, you'll be receiving training, tips, assistance, individualized coaching that will help you confidently and convincingly communicate your innovation and its value during the student innovation poster session and the team pitch presentation. You will also have the opportunity to practice before delivering your team pitch presentation on June the 12th, and you get coaching during those practice sessions. I love watching teams just get better and better and better, and it's remarkable to see the progress that we see through these sessions. So as we look ahead to the boot camp, I'm going to share a few final thoughts from my perspective on what's to come, as well as clue you in on some resources you can take advantage of as you continue your bootcamp preparations. So to earn your way into this group of finalists, your innovations had to run this whole gauntlet of scientific assessment as they were vetted for feasibility, viability, scientific merit. And that's no mean feat in itself. So you should be so proud for having passed muster as a CCIC finalist. But becoming a finalist marks only really the launching point for your CCIC journey. So there's much more to come. So until now, each team has largely been looking inward. And when you're looking inward, you're focusing on the problem identification, ideation, solution development, resource management, solution design, maybe even some prototyping and fabrication. But now the focus turns. So between now and the boot camp, you'll continue addressing these aspects, but starting now, and most importantly, during the boot camp, the focus will shift. Over the next few weeks, and especially during the boot camp, you're turning your gaze more and more outward as you begin peering into the far broader and sometimes chaotic and always intriguing innovation ecosystem, and start exploring the concepts, ideas, and disciplines by which novel ideas become successful products and processes that material benefit people in society. So along the way, you're going to discover and you're going to start hearing terms like lean startups, the business model canvas, design-centered thinking, value propositions, pitching and signaling value, identity creation, and something called customer discovery. Now, in fact, customer discovery is so central to the process that sees ideas becoming society benefiting breakthroughs that the entire next webinar coming up a week from today, Friday, May 8th, deals exclusively with what it is, how to do it, and the customer discovery effort you're expected to undertake before participating in the boot camp. Customer discovery is everything. I've learned the hard way. I was part of a startup where the owner didn't do any customer discovery, and it failed. So you get a chance to learn in this workshop about customer discovery. But you need not wait for next week to start exploring customer discovery. You can get a head start on the webinar by watching 3 short videos that address the pre-planning and customer interview process. Now, links to these videos, as well as the links to all the bootcamp resources, are available in that finalist hub that we keep talking about. I also wanted to mention that the AACC will be sending each college some of the feedback from the reviewers designed to help you strengthen your innovation. So please consider their comments as you prepare for the bootcamp. This really gives you guys a great head start. Now, before turning this over to Ellen to wrap things up, let me simply say that all of us, and especially the entire instructor and coaching team, look forward to meeting and working with you. I told you how much I love this. I can't wait to meet all of you in June. Ellen?
Thanks, Joe. So we did have a question on attire to help you with packing. We wanted to suggest the following attire for the event. It's really business casual throughout the week. Be comfortable. You do have a lot of interactivity. You have a lot of exercises. Hotels can vary in temperature despite our best efforts. Hotel rooms can be notoriously warm or more often a little cool. So make sure you bring a sweater or a sweatshirt with you. Um, we do ask for business attire for the student poster session and reception on Wednesday, or if you have like some colleges have like team collared shirts, collared shirts, that's something that's certainly acceptable as well. But otherwise, it's business casual throughout the event. With the exception of the student poster session and reception. I do want to mention evaluation. We want to make you aware that a part of our evaluation process, so this competition is funded by a grant from the National Science Foundation to AACC. So we are responsible for evaluating how we're doing and if this workshop and this boot camp was impactful. So to help us do that, we do issue a pre-event survey. So closer to the boot camp, we're going to ask each of you to submit a short survey, kind of evaluating where you are prior to the boot camp, and then we'll ask you to complete one following the boot camp. After the pitch competition, as the judges go off to deliberate, we send around those surveys and we ask you to just complete a post-evaluation, and this really helps us improve the event and be able to continue to offer it for future cohorts. So look for that pre-event survey. That'll be forthcoming. And we thank you in advance for the time and the feedback and responding to these. As Joe mentioned, we really pour over these. We take it all to heart. We're really looking to improve and make this a strong experience for you. And we have changed this event quite a bit since it first started, and it has evolved through this because of your feedback and your candor. So we do encourage you to participate in those. Important dates. Your first one, you can check off the list. You've been here. You've received your orientation. As I said, this recording and its slide deck will be posted to the hub. So if there were those on your teams that could not be here while we were doing this live, please make sure that they take a look at the recording. On May 8th, we'll be back with Grant Warner to talk about the customer discovery webinar. So that's forthcoming. The participant registration hotel reservation form that Courtney mentioned, that's also due May 8th. And then your team confirmation and project abstract forms. So that's the piece about your poster session that's also due. And then the single PowerPoint slide, we don't ask you for that until the morning of the actual pitch, because people are iterating throughout that whole week and kind of changing what that looks like. A note on the pitch, some people come in with an outline, or you may even have a draft pitch, but we give you time, and there's programming and training designed to help you develop that pitch, and designated coaching as well. So you might want to have an outline or have an idea, or if you've got one, great, but do expect that it's going to morph a bit throughout the boot camp, and that's certainly acceptable in what we want. We want to be able to provide you with the tools and the resources and the coaching to help you improve that. As Joe mentioned, we are going to share some feedback from the reviewers with you. Obviously, a lot of it was very positive. You were all selected as finalists, but there were some thoughts on how you could strengthen your innovation. So we'll be getting that out to you Monday morning. It's really only a couple of paragraphs, but there's some substantive things in there to take a look at that might help you as you think about how you frame your poster and how you ultimately frame your pitch. And it will complement a lot of the training and the resources you're going to receive at the boot camp itself. This is our contact information. As Courtney said, email, reach out early and often. We, absolutely ask the questions. Anything comes up, we're here to help. We want to make sure you're comfortable and you feel prepared to attend. So again, we'll be getting all of our materials up on the hub. Reach out to us over email give us a call, however you need to reach us, but please don't hesitate to reach out. And with that, I think I wanted to go ahead, and we've got a good amount of time for questions. If we don't take it all, that's fine as well, but this is your time to ask questions of us. You can either input into chat, or I'm actually going to stop our slideshow. If you're comfortable, you can identify raise your hand, come on camera, and ask your questions to us as well. But I guess I will start with Courtney. Is there anything in chat that we need to address?
I don't think so. I think I answered most of the questions in real time. Let me see. Oh, there's a question about should they cover any tattoos or piercings?
I don't see, historically, we've certainly not asked anyone to do that. I think that depends on your personal comfort level, but there's no expectation that you would cover tattoos or piercings. We've certainly had many students with tattoos, piercings, different hair color. I mean, come as you are. This is about you as an individual. So I wouldn't feel the need to have to cover anything unless that speaks more to your personal comfort level. But there's no requirement to do so.
Okay. We got some hands raised here. I don't see other things in the chat right now.
Okay, so we've got Kale. You wanted to ask your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think my question was, what would you say? I know that guidelines are being posted and will be available, but what would you say in your words, the key difference between the poster session poster and the pitch slide? Like, what would you say is the key differentiator between those two deliverables, if that makes any sense?
No, make absolute sense. For the poster itself, that is, you have much more space to work with. That is at the poster session, that is, you've got a large poster that is more kind of like that academic poster competition feel, where you can be a little bit text heavy in those places. Certainly visuals are there as well, but that's where you can really flesh out key elements, because you're speaking to the poster, so you can reference your poster. The poster session in itself, much more free form. You're not sitting there, you're not timed, you're not having to formally deliver a pitch. You're engaging. Someone may come up to you and say, hey, tell me about this. So you're going to be developing elevator pitches or short ways to speak about what your poster is. But you can also engage in direct questions, and it can be led by those that are coming up and speaking with you. So it's much more informal in that regard. It's reception style. You do it as a team. You're engaging with different visitors, but you are speaking to, your poster, which again is in terms of real estate, has a lot more real estate to put down words, to talk about your research, to point to that. And you will have some people who thoughtfully sit there and read it before they ask you a question. So it really is meant to be that canvas that kind of outlines and substantiates your innovation. That pitch slide is really to complement your pitch. So your pitch, that 5 minutes, what we're asking you to do is not easy. It'd be a lot easier if you could go through a slide deck, but you've got 5 minutes to talk about your innovation, and you've got an image behind you to complement it. A lot of people will refer to it. If you've got a prototype or something like that, you can have an image of it. It's not an animated slide. It is a static slide. We get asked that question every year. But this is so everyone has the same kind of level playing field. Everyone has the one image behind them and the 5 minutes. So they are a different take. I don't know, Joe, if you wanted to elaborate on anything I've said or offer additional thoughts.
Ellen, I thought you laid it out pretty good. Very simply, you spent a lot of time choreographing that team pitch presentation, being very strategic, and being able to practice how you deliver everything. You are thinking on your feet for the entire poster session. And while you can come in with planned sound bites that you might use or certain ways to explain everything, it's quite extemporaneous. So one session's choreographed, the other one is thinking on your feet and having more space, as Ellen said, to do so.
And Kale, did that address your question?
Yeah, that was super helpful. Thank you.
Sure. I see the Pasadena City College team has a question.
Hello, my name is Ella. I wanted to ask, in the past years, what separated the pitches of the teams that were successful from those that weren't?
That's a really good question. I would say it's really being able to not only clearly define what the problem is, how your solution addresses that, But then they're also looking at, have you thought about, its value proposition? Have you thought about how it plays in the marketplace? Have you thought about what else is out there that might be similar to what you have and how yours is innovative and different? And I think that's a key one. There's a lot of innovations, a lot of your innovations build on existing technologies. So how is what you are doing with it and how you are adapting it for your specific solution that needs to be conveyed? Then they're also going to talk to you a little bit about the actual feasibility. Have you thought about cost structure? Have you thought about audience? Have you thought about how this will be implemented in a real world setting? And these are things and tools we will give you to think about throughout the week. But I would say that's a lot that, and there's a certain passion for it. The students that really get that carries. We certainly see it, that, and I think really rehearsing that pitch and having it down to a science, where your team is integrated. We've seen both single presenters and teams, but it's really how they play in answering the questions as well, so that it really is a team innovation. But it's really getting that rehearsed pitch down, conveying that passion, but also being very clear in the problem, the solution, who you are seeking to address and how it would be implemented in a real world setting. Joe, did you want to comment?
No, you laid it out perfectly. Just to reiterate what you said, clarity, um, conviction, and viability are the three things that really make it stand out. But when you are able to do that with passion, you give yourself a great chance to win.
And we also prepare you in the boot camp. There's a whole section Joe does where he's going to throw you some curveball questions just so you're prepared to answer them. The judges aren't there to trip you up. They're there to seek clarity. So they are asking. So we tried to prepare you to think about scenarios and questions you might get. Because it's not just that 5-minute pitch, it's that 5-minute question and answer period as well. It's that whole 10 minutes is what you're essentially evaluated on. So, hopefully your pitch addressed it, but if it didn't, and, everything you needed to say, but if it didn't, and the judge asks the question, how you address it, how you answer the judge's question also aids your overall communication of your innovation. So think of it as a 10-minute window, 5 minutes. We've got to get that pitch out and get as much out as we can, as clearly as we can, and then be able to address the judge's questions, as best we can as well.
We want these skills that we teach you to be lifelong skills. So this is really the things being taught in this workshop, or things that are taught in workshops that people spend a lot of money on to try to get more professional skills later in their careers. You get a chance to learn them right now.
Well, and to that point, Joe, and you'll hear this from some of our alums, and they've leveraged these skills into research positions, into internships, into employment, into transferring to 4-year universities. That this is more than a resume builder. It is one for sure, but that these skills, particularly this being able to convey your innovation, that you can even apply to yourself and marketing yourself in the future. So there's a lot of skills here, as Joe said, that kind of transcend what you're doing, but that clarity of communication and that purpose is really, and being able to kind of anticipate, if you will, and address confidently those judges' questions is what kind of makes those pitches rise to the top. Patricia.
Hi, it's Patricia from the Rocky Road team. It's not more of a question, it's more of a statement. We just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity, for having us as finalists. We're excited to go in June, and we really can't wait to meet all of you. It's not a question, more of a statement.
No, I love it. Thank you. We feel the same. We're so excited to have all of you. And I do want to say, you're on the screen with what's going to be some of your best friends by the end of this week. For a competition is the most collegial competition because you really get behind one another. For the pitches, you're all present in the room. You see one another's, there is an order that is a random sort order. You find out that morning, or is it the night before? I don't remember, Joe, but you find out pretty close to, I think, who's pitching and when. I think it's right before we release you to go, because it is completely random sort. But you really do support one another through this. And, we've got a LinkedIn group, and people, I still hear feedback from teams, and we engage with them, and we hope you build some solid relationships and you continue to build out. You're building a network here. And I will tell you, every single judge, every single instructor, they'll want to be linked with you as well. And Joe was not kidding when he says you have all of them. If you spot Joe in the hall at 8 o'clock at night and say, will you listen to my pitch? Joe will go walk over to the corner with you and listen to your team pitch. So do utilize the instructors. They are there, and the coaches, and they're there, and we want to help you succeed. So Courtney, I don't know if there's anything other in chat or if there are any other questions.
Nope, nothing else in chat.
All right. Well, if nothing comes up, we'll give you a minute, but would just like to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for participating in this. As Courtney said, we were so inspired to read all of your applications, and we get even more inspired to see how you grow during the competition and how the teams come together. It really is phenomenal. So we're very excited about that. And again, this is a very safe space and designed to be a safe space. If there are any questions or concerns or issues, we're on site the entire time. Certainly let us know going into it. Talk to us while we're there. But our instructors stay at the hotel. Like I said, everybody is accessible to you, because I know there's some practicing and rehearsing that goes on behind the scenes. We try to keep some of the rooms open for you for practice rooms as well, but we update you on site for that. Joe, any final comments or guidance you want to close with, and then we'll have Courtney say goodbye as well. But Joe?
I want to reiterate, we're talking about this being a supportive environment. It's unique. It's a competition, but it's a competition where we all help each other. People from one team helping somebody else from another team. The whole idea is challenging each of us to be the best that we can be, and supporting each of us to be the best that we can be, and then going and competing like that. And in that way, everybody wins. So we're really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Courtney, any words from you?
Wow, I can just say ditto to all of that. Keep in mind if you've not been to DC, or you've been to haven't been to a lot of cities, this hotel is very small. It's very cozy, and we have the majority of the meeting space, if not all of the meeting space. So you will be very comfortable and very supported. I stay there the whole week. Ellen stays there most of the week. And we're all there, and we're all there for you. So we're excited, and congratulations again. Please email us with any questions at all.
Well, with that, we'll give you back, I think, a whole, 15 minutes or 13 minutes to your day here. But as Courtney said, any questions, let us know. We will see you again next Friday for our customer discovery webinar. And we'll be getting out feedback to you from the reviewers on Monday, and we'll be letting you know as we get materials on the hub. But thank you all. We're very excited to meet you in person in June. And again, let us know with any questions. Have a great weekend, all. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All.